we've done our best to bring you all the latest information on current security concerns and scams, and have assembled a panel of top experts to give you advice and answer your questions. Now, with me today, as a way of introduction, we have Kevin Durawa, who's the information officer with the Contractors State Licensing Board. We also have Jackie Wiley. She's the education and outreach coordinator with the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. And finally, we have Louis Deloria, who's the division chief with the California Department of Insurance. I want to thank each of you panelists for your vital participation in providing this much needed resource to the constituents of the 10th Senate District. I also want to give viewers a brief update of what I'm working on at the Capitol related to consumers, seniors, and security. This year, I authored SB 38, which creates an extended producer responsibility program that places redemption and recycling responsibility on those who distribute beverage containers here inside California. You know, it's hard to find a place to return your bottles. It's now a 2-year bill that I'll continue to work on over the interim and once we adjourn. It's been passed by the Senate, but I want to make sure that we do 2 things. We make it convenient for consumers to have a place to return their bottles, and we make sure that if you paid a nickel, you get a nickel back, and if you paid a dime, you get the full amount of your deposit back. Another bill, SB 346, is a bill I'm working on that requires customers to be informed at the time they purchase a vehicle if there's a camera inside the vehicle that while they're operating, and that if there is and it's recorded, that information cannot be used for advertising or sold to parties. We're well aware of cameras on the outside of our vehicles when we were backing up, but now we have cameras inside the vehicle watching us. So this is a 2-year bill also that I'm going to be working on. I'm also carrying SB 432, which permits homeowners associations to have term limits if term limits are contained in their bylaws or their election rules. The bill also requires that anybody who works for the inspector of elections that may be appointed by them to oversee the verification of signatures and tabulation of votes also meets these requirements of neutrality that have already been applied to the inspector herself. Over the past year, I've tried to bring more transparency and fairness to the elections process in HOAs, and about 25% of the members of our community live in HOAs. One more bill I'm authoring is SB 531. That would require debt collectors who have delinquent debts assigned to them, not sold to them, but assigned to them, to have proof that they have the authority to collect on the debt. The bill would give consumers the right to request proof along with some other basic information regarding the debt. Now, these rights are the identical rights that are found in the Fair Debt Buying Practices Act for debt that's sold to a third party. It raises the standards on assigned debts to protect consumers. So once again, this seminar that we're having today is designed to empower you, the consumer, and assist you, the senior, in addressing any concerns you may have about consumer and financial information. We will start with a presentation from our panelists and then open it up so our panelists can answer pre-submitted questions by the public. So if your question is not addressed today in the seminar, feel free to contact my district office for additional information. But thank you for participating, and you'll get that information soon. Welcome.
Thank you, Senator. I would like to go into our first presentation with Mr. Kevin Durawa from the Contractor State License Board. Kevin?
Thank you, Senator Wieckowski, and thank you, Miriam, for having us today. Again, my name is Kevin Durawa. I'm from Contractor State License Board. We license about 280,000 contractors across the state. I'm going to share my screen here. You're always going to want to hire a contractor when you're doing work that's $500 or more in California. But unfortunately, there's unlicensed contractors out there who like to target seniors, so that's why I'm here today. So Contractor State License Board, here's a little bit more about what we do. We protect California consumers by licensing and regulating the state's construction industry. We license more than 290,000 contractors in 44 different classifications. A classification is, like plumbing or concrete or fencing. Unfortunately, a big problem we see is unlicensed contractors targeting seniors, which is part of the reason why we started this Senior Scam Stopper seminar back in the day. Seniors, unfortunately, they're usually a very trusting group, which makes them more vulnerable to scams from unlicensed contractors. Unlicensed contractors, what they do is they try to manipulate seniors and establish connections with them and take advantage of them. They might say, hey, oh, your grandson goes to, Laguna High School down the street. My neighbor's kid goes to Laguna High School down the street. That's great. They're doing great. They made the playoffs last year. So they try to establish those connections with you before taking advantage of you. Some of the biggest scams we see at Contractors Board are unlicensed contractors asking for an unusually large down payment. In California, the down payment has to be no more than 10% or $1,000, whatever is less. If you're going to remember one thing from today's presentation, please try to remember this. Down payment, no more than 10% or $1,000, whatever is less. There are exceptions if it's a service and repair situation. So if your air conditioner breaks and you call out a repair specialist to help you with your air conditioning, it's not a home improvement contract, it's a service and repair contract in that case. So that's down payment is waived. Other common scams we see are door-to-door sales and pressure tactics. This will be, you get a knock on the door and there's some contractors there with a truck and they have some landscaping material on the back of their truck and they say, hey, we're helping your neighbor down the street with a home improvement project and we have extra materials. So we're offering you a great deal today, $400 to redo your front lawn. Before you can verify if they're licensed or not, what they'll try to do is they'll try to push you on this and try to get cash up front from you. They'll end up dumping whatever it is on their truck on your lawn. You don't know if they're licensed. You don't know how good of a job they're going to do on your lawn, or they'll end up just taking your money and leaving you with no work done. So you really want to avoid door-to-door sales and high pressure tactics like that. Another scam we see is scare tactics. You might get a knock on the door from an unlicensed contractor offering a free home inspection. So you let them inside and they come in and all of a sudden they're finding all kinds of problems with your foundation. There's cracks in the wall. You have problems with your foundation. You have a leaky faucet. There's plumbing problems. And then they offer to make the repairs right away before things get worse. And they try to force you into making a bad decision. Other common scams we see involving unlicensed contractors are verbal agreements. Those we want to avoid. We want to avoid you and a contractor getting an agreement saying, oh, $500 to repair that fence board. You want it in writing. The reason is the prices of materials can start changing during the job. You told me on Tuesday that the price was going to be $500 to fix this. Why is it now $1,000? Why are the prices jumping? You want to make sure you get it into writing. Also, when you're dealing with contractors, you never want to pay in cash. You always want to pay with a check and make a copy of that check, have a copy of that check and keep it in a project file, which can just be a manila folder where you'll keep photos and copies of the contract. So what can you do if you've been scammed or think you've been scammed? Well, first thing, you should definitely call CSLB and we can get you a complaint form. The number's on your screen there, 1-800-321-CSLB or 2752. You can also go to our website, cslb.ca.gov, and click the File a Complaint button to also help you with that. Seniors, you should know that you have 4 years from the date of your project to file a complaint with us. And also something new for you this year, it's new protection for seniors. We're talking about ages 65 years of age and older. You now have 5 days to 5-day right to cancel a contract. That is to protect you from some of the things I just mentioned with the high pressure sales tactics, door-to-door salesmen, etc. You have 5 days to cancel any contract. And here's another look at where that is on our website, the File a Complaint button. So why should you use a licensed contractor in California? Well, all licensed contractors have passed law and trade exams and they've undergone background checks. Licensed contractors are also required to hold $15,000 contractor bonds and have workers' compensation insurance for all their employees if they have employees. That is very important. Workers' compensation insurance covers worker injuries while they're on the job, and that protects you. If they don't have workers' compensation insurance and a worker does get hurt on the job, that can all of a sudden subject you to liability for their injuries. So you get greater consumer protection when you use a licensed contractor. You also have more options for you if you run into problems. CSLB can step in and help with negotiation, mediation, and arbitration. These services are always free to consumers. If you're working with an unlicensed contractor, it's harder for us to get what you need and to make you feel whole again, whether it's fix your repairs or recoup some of your money, help you recoup some of your money. You should also know that California law requires the use of licensed contractors for any home improvement job that costs $500 and more. So if a contractor is trying to separate the job up into little chunks that are less than $500, that doesn't fly. It's the total cost of the project, $500 or more. Most projects nowadays for home improvement are $500 or more. So we always encourage you to use a licensed contractor. So how do you find a good licensed contractor? Well, ask your friends and family if they have some recommendations. And then when you find out those recommendations, check the license on our website. And if you're having trouble with that, you're still not getting good recommendations, you can also use our Find My Licensed Contractor tool. There you can type in your zip code and choose what kind of classification you're looking for, and you'll get a list of contractors in your area. You can also call us at 1-800-321-2752. So here's another look at that on our website, Find My Licensed Contractor. You click on that and you get a window that's similar to this one, where you can type in your city and your zip code and choose from this drop-down menu what kind of contractor you're looking for. And you'll get a nice list, which you can print out or download and start making some calls. So I'm saying calls plural, because I want you to try to get at least 3 bids on your project and try to get them in writing. The reason we ask you to do this is to get a price range of your project. You might see like a lot of different prices depending on the materials, the amount of workers they have. It's always a good idea to know what's out there before you decide on one contractor. You're also going to want to ask for references and check them. If you can, check them with your own eyes. The reason we ask you to do that is nowadays it's really easy to just hop online and do a Google image search of beautiful concrete work and find it on the web and slap it together and put it on your own website and say it's your own work when there's no way to really verify that. So ask for references for past work and check them. You know, chances are they've worked with someone in your neighborhood. When you're meeting these contractors, ask to see their pocket license. If they're active licensed contractor with CSLB, they should have a little laminated card like this one with their name and business on it and their license number. They'll also show their expiration date. Compare this pocket license with a picture ID, like a driver's license, for instance, to make sure that the contractor is who it says they are and they actually are licensed with CSLB. The reason we ask that is we get a lot of people who say, oh, I'm working under my nephew's license, or I'm working under my friend's license. Well, if they're working under someone else's license, then they should be considered an employee. And chances are the licensed contractor who owns that license probably doesn't have workers' compensation insurance, and they might not even know that this person's working under their license too. So you really have to be careful and check the pocket license when you meet these contractors as well. I want to quickly talk about solar. We do have a lot of solar problems, especially involving seniors. We do have a solar task force and a solar smart page on our website. We also have a new solar complaint form to improve our response time to solar complaints. Seniors really want to be asking themselves, is solar right for you? It depends on how much more time you're going to be spending in your home. You also want to look at, you know, things like which way your roof points. If your roof is pointing in a certain direction, then solar may not offer you much benefit. You also want to do the math with solar, looking at your monthly statements and your utility bills. Find out what's your break-even point. When are you going to actually start saving money and pay off the solar system? You have to remember that solar is not free. A lot of times, solar salesmen or contractors will try to tell you that the solar is free, but a solar system can cost tens of thousands of dollars for the roof of your home. You also want to be aware of financing problems like PACE loans, HERO loans, Chief, or REAL. Usually, those have high interest rates. They can be tied to your property taxes, make it more difficult for you to rent or sell your home eventually down the line. You may not be aware, the property tax increase may not kick in for a year or two. The LA Times did a story on someone who was promised free solar installation. 2 years later, her property taxes shot up hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month. And unfortunately, she ended up losing her home because of this horrible solar deal that she signed. You want to protect yourself. You want to make sure you have payments, control over your payments. You never want to sign over any payments to the contractor. You obviously want to get everything in writing. With solar, California requires something called a financing estimate and disclosure document. You want to make sure that shows you the true cost of the solar system. So you want to make sure you're getting that. And you want to make sure you're reading the contract carefully. Read it over with family and friends and loved ones. Again, always protect yourself. Hire licensed contractors using the Find My Licensed Contractor tool on cslb.ca.gov. And if you already have a contractor in mind you want to use, check their license first. Use the instant license check. It only takes a couple seconds to just type in their license number or their name. You can also go to their website, our website, or you can call 1-800-321-CSLB. Remember, the down payment should be no more than 10% or $1,000, whatever's less, and never let the payments get ahead of the work. In other words, have a payment progress thing worked into your contract. You never want to give them half of the money until half the job is done. You never want to give them the final payment on a job until you're completely satisfied with the work. You can always call us if you have questions, 1-800-321-CSLB or 2752. You can also email us at info@cslb.ca.gov. Thank you so much for your time today. We'll answer some questions for you at the end.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Next, I would like to introduce our second panelist, Jackie Wiley. Again, she's the Education and Outreach Coordinator for the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Jackie?
Okay, thank you, Miriam. Good afternoon, everyone. And I think that it's a wonderful thing that you are attending this Senior Scam Stopper this afternoon. My motto is, if you are not educated, you're less like, if you are educated, you're less likely to become a victim of financial fraud and scams. And boy, do we have a lot of scams out there that are targeting not only the seniors, but anybody is susceptible to becoming a victim of financial fraud and scams. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And just so, again, I am Jackie Wiley. I'm one of the outreach coordinators with the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. And probably most of us in the audience are wondering who we are and what we do. We are formally the Department of Business Oversight, and we are a state agency. Maybe you've heard of that name, but as of January 1, 2001, we were renamed the Dfpi, which I'll be saying throughout this presentation instead of the whole name, Department of Financial Protection and Innovation, because that's a mouthful. And what that, it was a bill that was passed by Governor Newsom, and it's called the California Consumer Financial Protection Law, and it has expanded our enforcement authority. And so what is the role of the Dfpi? We, again, are California's financing authority. We are a state government agency. We license and regulate state financial institutions, products, and professionals. Most of us on here are probably homeowners. So we license chartered banks and credit unions. If you own a home, you know that there's a lot of steps that you have to take. You have to refinance. If you want to refinance, you have to work with a financial lender. Well, we're the agency that license them. We license residential mortgage lenders and servicers. We license commercial loan companies, payday lenders, the escrow agents that we all have to deal with. So that's just some of the things that we license. And because of this new law, we are now going to be overseeing more unregulated financial services and products, such as the credit repair and consumer reporting companies, debt collectors, which is a wonderful thing, debt relief providers, and rent-to-own contracts, and also private for-profit school funding. How will the new Ccfpl be effective? So again, it's extending our authority. We collaborate with and partner with other state, federal, and local agencies. It's giving us the authority to ramp up consumer protections of unfair, deceptive, and abusive practices. So we're enforcing laws and regulations to help with the response to financial fraud and scams. So how is the DFPI getting information out to the consumers? We are normally out in the field, and I'm one of the outreach coordinators that pounds the pavement all throughout Southern California. We have 4 offices: Los Angeles, Sacramento, San Diego, and San Francisco. So we have an outreach team, an education and outreach team that does just what I am doing today. And one of the things that we usually do is we distribute a great booklet, which you see here on the screen, our Protect Yourself from Fraud booklet, which hosts great information pertaining to red flag signs that you could become accustomed to prior to engaging in any type of business with a professional or a product that you're thinking about an opportunity for. We also have a monthly outreach newsletter that we just started putting together. And if you wanted to be a part of that, you can go to our website and to subscribe to that. We're also on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. So you can follow us on social media that way, okay? So most importantly, I'm going to say this throughout my presentation: do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. Before I get into the phone scams, I want to quickly go over PACE financing. Kevin talked about the solar, but I kind of want to just go over home improvements. Since the pandemic, a lot of us have, myself included, have been doing a lot of home improvements. And the PACE financing program has been and continues to be solicited to homeowners, especially to older adults. What is PACE? PACE is the Property Assessed Clean Energy, and it's a program that provides homeowners help to finance, listen to what I'm going to say, energy efficient and water saving improvements to their property. So I'm stressing that because you see this picture over here. There have been many people who have got tangled up in the PACE program for financing. Their homes have been left undone. They have been left with holes in the walls, ceilings falling down, incomplete projects for their homes. So I want to let you know that consumers should become educated about this program before entering into a finance agreement, as the cost of the project or repayment of the loan can be and has been misrepresented. And we all like free, but we have to stop and think to ourselves. If they're claiming no money down or no out-of-pocket costs, you might want to say, well, I wonder where the payments are going to be coming from if I don't have to put anything out. So you want to make that a note in your mind. So that gives the impression already that all the services are free. PACE is not a free government program. Homeowners must pay back the funding through their annual property taxes. And like Kevin shared earlier, people who have property taxes of $1,200 a year, and then all of a sudden you have a $20,000 PACE financing loan on top of that, now you're going to have some problems or struggles possibly paying for your property taxes. So many have entered into the finance agreements and they're struggling with property tax payments because it doubled and tripled, and are at risk of losing their homes and left again with incomplete or unpermitted work. So again, do your homework by contacting our department to learn about the risks and the laws and to get answers to many other common questions. And I have down here our website. And of course, when you're doing home improvement, you would reach out to the Contractor State License Board as well to verify the contracting license. So let's go ahead and get into that, those phone calls. Common and pandemic-inspired frauds and scams. And I have this cute little picture in the middle. Hello, who's calling? Hello, who's calling? Sometimes you feel like you're going crazy because you're saying it 3, 4, 5 times because the caller on the other end is not saying anything. And when there's a hesitation in the connection, those are more than likely robocalls, okay? And what that kind of does is giving the caller ammunition as to the time of day that you picked up, that you're home during this time. So they're going to continue to bombard you with these solicitations or these phone calls. And I wanted to just kind of point out some, there's so many, I wanted to just go over a few that our department is hearing about. And I'm going to start with this red flag telephone calls. We're hearing Medicare, Medi-Cal phone calls, and they're offering lower rates, or they can do this, they can get you testing kits, they can get you vaccines. Let's just stop right there. Medicare, Medi-Cal is not going to call you unless you maybe have an appointment or something like that. So that's a red flag sign when someone on the line that you answered a call to is giving you some kind of information to that effect. Social Security. Hi, ma'am. You'll get a recording saying that your Social Security card has been compromised or that it's being used in a different state. Stop right there. Red flag sign. The Social Security Administration does not call you. Okay. So that's another red flag sign phone call. Hi, I'm calling from the IRS, and oh my goodness, I see that you're delinquent with your taxes, and you know you can make your payment right now. You can just either do it by credit card or give me the routing number on your check. Stop right there. Another red flag telephone call. The IRS is, I'm gonna just say this, they are way too busy to call people who haven't filed taxes or owe back taxes, or even to talk about the stimulus payments. They're not going to do that. The IRS is not going to call you. That is an entity, these are government agencies that you will get something in the mail. You will not get a phone call from them, okay? Hi, this is Jackie calling from the county clerk's office, and oh my goodness, what happened? Kevin, I see that you did not show up for jury duty. So most of us know that it's our civic duty to serve jury duty, okay? So if you get a phone call with someone telling you that you did not serve or that you missed your date or your deadline, and then they go on to try to calm you down, because the ploy always is to befriend you so that you can become trusting of the phone call. So then they'll go on to tell you that don't worry, let me have your Social Security number and I'll look it up for you and we'll make it right. Stop right there. Red flag sign. How do you get summoned for jury duty? Definitely not by the phone. You will get that little card or that yellow envelope in the mail. Utility companies, there are a lot of people posing as utility companies, government workers, and they sound very, very official. So here's one that we're hearing about. I'm calling from, I'm just going to say Sky Zone utility company. And I see that your bill is delinquent because I'm calling from the delinquent unit of the company. So how will you want to make that payment? Because if you don't make it right now by 5 o'clock, your utilities are going to be cut off. Okay, your power is going to be cut off. So of course you're frantic and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want my electricity to be cut off. So again, phone company, utility company, water and power, they don't have time to call people to tell them that their bill is delinquent, overdue, you missed the payment, you're gonna get that in the mail. That's another red flag telephone call. And the taxes and the stimulus payments, people, if you are getting a stimulus check or if you're getting a tax return, either you have 3 ways to get it: by mail with a check, the prepaid debit card, which will come with your name on it, and please don't throw it away because we have had people do that. And the third way is, of course, by automatic deposit into your account. So if someone calls you telling you that they can get these payments to you quicker by providing personal information or routing numbers, stop right there. Red flag sign, red flag telephone call, okay? Let's go to the left-hand side. These debt collectors are calling all day, every day. One call I want to mention right now is that every day I get a phone call from someone telling me that my car warranty is due. I don't have a car warranty anymore, okay? So they become very sophisticated, and this is what scammers do. They start calling from different phone numbers. It may have the same extension or same area code, but something is different about it, but they're calling about the same thing. So debt collectors are the same way. Like the senator said, thank God for the bill that's coming through. The Dfpi is now going to be regulating debt collectors because people are falling victim. Stop and think. If you know you don't owe the debt, don't provide any information to them, okay? Home improvement, I talked about that. Since the pandemic, people are grabbing at straws. There's fear of losing homes, being evicted. People are calling all day long with housing relief opportunities. Maybe I can lower your APR. Maybe you want to refinance at 2.2%. Please, please, please do your homework before you engage in any type of business or any type of opportunity. Online services are becoming very permanent, so to speak. A lot of times you go places, they're not taking money. They want you to use your debit card or a card. I'm going to say this. If you are not understanding Zelle, Venmo to send money, you might want to ask somebody about it. Online services for groceries and shopping and things like that. We need to know that that is a very big can of worms that can be opened easily. So be mindful about use of online services. And I can't see my audience, and I'm used to seeing my audience, with handsome women and men in the audience. I'm not understanding about this romance and sweetheart swindles that's going on. But I do understand it, that the pandemic has isolated us from family, friends, and loved ones. We've lost loved ones, okay? So to get a phone call, you're excited because someone's engaging in conversation. But let's stop and think about meeting somebody on social media. And then when they start asking you for help financially, and you're doing it because you want to continue with this romance or because you are lonely, but remember this, most of the time they'll say, I can't meet in person. Let's take this offline so that they're not found out. So please be mindful of meeting people on social media or online, okay? Now I just wanted to cover some of the basics that we're hearing about, but trust me, there are so many phone scams that are going on. It's just too hard to talk about in a short period of time. So these scams are mostly through cold calling, but the internet, email, and texting can be added to these methods as well, okay? And I spoke a little bit about this already, and this is phishing and someone, online services, banking and bill pay, we're doing that. The use of digital currency, we're using that. People are sending money. And then the newest thing, these fintech innovation, it's a new method in the delivery of financial services. And most services are entirely online. So we need to be mindful, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some defense mechanism. So again, millions are using online service, and it's growing in popularity. So the DFPI will be an instrumental in working with companies who are establishing these innovative financial services. So let's ask ourselves this. Jackie has said so much. How can you avoid becoming a victim of fraud and scams? Well, let's talk about it. The telephone, I'm just going to say this. It's best to just hang up. Don't call the number left on your answering machine. Go directly to your source. What does that mean? If you see on your phone viewer that it says the IRS and it's displaying a number because that's a familiar agency or a familiar name, and they left a voice message, don't use the number that's left on your answer machine or that's on display. And I'm going to tell you why at the end of my spiel. Online services, change our passwords often, more often than usual. Remember to log out. Sometimes we'll go in there really quick and we'll check something, maybe to see how much we have in our bank accounts. Remember to log out and be cautious with technology. Understand it is key. Internet, email, or text messages. Pay attention to the extension of the email. There was a consumer who was shopping online, and a lot of us are doing that nowadays. We're shopping online and Amazon. So she got an email saying that her shipment was due to ship out, but there was a problem with her information. They asked her to provide it again, which meant her name, address, and her a credit card information. But what happened was she didn't check the extension, which is Amazon.com, C-O-M. She saw afterwards Amazon.con, C-O-N. So there it goes. She has to now call her bank and do everything to protect her assets. So please hover over the link first to verify where it's coming from. Make sure the site is secure. How do we do that? That HTTP should have an S, or you should see a closed lock at the top or the bottom of your screen before you start entering your information. And be careful clicking into unknown text messages and emails. If you don't know who it is, just swipe over and delete it. We don't want you to open up the can of worms by entering into the email or to the text message. So I've given out a lot of information today. And so what's the bottom line? Again, if you are a victim of identity theft, the Federal Trade Commission says you can report fraud here at this website. So the bottom line is this: how can the DFPI help you? You can learn about us, go to our website. You can always contact our consumer services office at the toll-free number. We have live in-person representatives, and we also have multi-language capability, and we can help you verify the licensing status of a financial institution, service, or professional before you engage in business. Do your homework. Provide consumers with information on how to file a consumer complaint if you feel like you've been a victim of fraud with one of our licensees or the institutions that you deal with. And we can also assist with identifying and contacting the regulatory agency if it's not within our jurisdiction. If you have questions, not sure if you have been defrauded, you can email us here. And then again, interested in a publication or a presentation, hit us on our outreach website and request one of our Protect Yourself from Fraud booklets. I spoke about the newsletter earlier, and you can go here to subscribe. And our newsletter provides department information, like what are we doing, actions that we have taken against a particular company, and upcoming events. And again, our social media. Excuse me. The bottom line, always trust your instincts. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Never give out personal information. Here's what I was holding out for, unless you initiated the contact. So if people are calling you all day long and asking for personal information, say to yourself, that girl from Dfpi said I shouldn't give out personal information because they called me. I didn't call them. And always go to the source yourself. If you are skeptical, if you have a question about it and say, wow, did I really forget to pay the bill? Don't use the number that's left on your machine. Go get an old bill and call that number from there. So here is my information. That's my email address. And again, here is our toll-free number. So due to COVID, I'm still working from home and only can be reached via email, or you can, and please call our call center. Thank you for allowing me to share.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wiley. You know, the majority of the concerns that came in through our public account, or what are the most common scams that are targeting people, including our seniors right now, and you certainly touched on very many of them. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, I would like to introduce our final panelist. Is Mr. Louis Deloria. He is the Division Chief for the California Department of Insurance. Mr. Deloria?
Good afternoon. I just want to make sure, can you see my PowerPoint?
Not just yet.
Can you see it now? Yes?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yep, we can see it.
All right. Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope wherever you're at, you're staying cool. It's a bit hot out there in some areas of the state. My name is Louis Deloria. I'm with the Enforcement Branch of the California Department of Insurance. We are the state agency responsible for regulating the individuals, the businesses, and the companies who sell you insurance. And today I'm here to talk to you about 3 types of insurance that might be of particular interest to you. Before we get to that, let's start with the basics. Normally when we're talking about insurance, we think about stuff like auto insurance, homeowners insurance, health insurance. We buy these products to protect ourselves in case something unfortunate happens, like you get in a car accident, or your home is damaged in an earthquake, or maybe you have some health issues and you need to go see the doctor. The goal is that you won't have to pay for that out of your own pocket. The insurance company will pay it for you. Now, there are also other insurance products that not only provide you with protection, they provide you with investment opportunities. And today we're going to be talking about 2 of those products. They are life insurance and annuities. And then when we're done with that, we'll spend a couple of minutes talking about long-term care insurance. Okay, so when it comes to any of these products, the first thing you're going to ask yourself is why? Why do I want to buy life insurance? What is an annuity and why do I want to buy it? So, first and foremost, we all have family members and loved ones that we want to take care of, and we want to leave something behind for them. Or you might purchase one of these insurance products to pay bills such as estate taxes or funeral expenses. There are also tax benefits, and you can use these products to diversify your investment portfolio. Generally speaking, life and insurance and annuities are safer than other investments like stocks and bonds and other securities. And then last but certainly not least, you might want to buy some of these products to take care of yourself, to ensure that you have a steady stream of income, to take care of your living expenses, and to make sure that you're cared for in your golden years. All right, so as with any product, there are many different varieties of life insurance. I'm going to keep it basic today and talk to you about the 2 general types of policies that I think will be of most interest to you. In its most simplest terms, a life insurance policy is a contract between you and an insurance company. Basically, you give the insurance company some money, and then as long as the policy is in effect, if you pass away, the insurance company will make a tax-free payout to your family, to your beneficiaries. And generally speaking, there are 2 types of life policies. There's a term life policy, which means that you're buying a policy for a specified term, a specified period of time, like 5, 10, 15, or 20 years. And then there's whole life insurance, which is a bit more complicated. It never expires. As long as you pay for it, it's going to stay in effect for your entire life. And the good news is that with this type of insurance, with a whole life policy, there's a cash value that builds up over time like a savings account. So let's say, for example, you've had the policy for 20 years and you can't afford it anymore and you need to cancel it. The insurance company will give you the money that's built up in your cash account over time, whereas you don't have that benefit with a term life policy, which is less expensive. All right, so term life insurance. Let's say that you're 65 years old and you decide to buy a term life policy with a death benefit of $50,000 for 20 years. This means that from the ages of 65 to 85, if you pass away, the insurance company will make a tax-free payout of $50,000 to your beneficiaries. Now, the catch here is that if you live past 85, you don't get anything. Once you've reached the 20-year term, the policy expires, and the insurance company keeps all the money. The flip side here, as I said earlier, is that these policies are relatively inexpensive and the rate is locked in. For example, I bought one of these policies when I was 30 years old, and it recently expired when I turned 50. And the good part of it is that I knew how much the policy was going to cost me for that entire 20-year period. I was paying the same amount at age 50 as I was at age 30. So that's the benefit to buying that policy. The downside, as I said, is that if you outlive the policy, then you don't get anything at the end of the day. So if you're thinking about buying a term life policy, one of the key factors you have to consider is how long you want the policy to last. And that factor, along with your age and your health, will help the insurance company to figure out how much the policy is going to cost you. But again, up front, if you're dealing with an honest agent, they're going to tell you how much it's going to cost. There's not going to be any surprises in the future. And buying these policies are fairly simple. You're going to fill out an application. They might send a nurse to meet with you and take some blood and take your blood pressure, and that's basically it. It might not take more than a half hour. Now, turning to whole life insurance, this is a bit more complicated. If you want to buy one of these policies, you're going to have to fill out a whole bunch of paperwork. You're going to have to give them a lot of information about your health and your personal finances. You're going to have to turn over all your medical records, and you might have to go see a doctor to get a full exam. The reason that you're doing this is that this policy provides you with more benefits than a term life policy. And as I've said before, it's like an investment or like in a savings account. So the insurance company has more invested in it, and they want to make sure that the policy is a good fit for you and a good fit for the company. And again, one of the benefits here is that you can take money out of the policy from time to time. If you need to pay your bills, if you have an unexpected expense, maybe you want to buy a new car or pay for a vacation or give a gift for a family member, there are mechanisms in place where you can take money out of the policy, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a few minutes. But again, you have to keep in mind that these policies are a lot more expensive than a term life policy, and the premiums can go up as you age. These are the type of policies that you would normally use for your estate planning. Sorry, give me a second. All right, now when it comes to an annuity is a contract between you and the insurance company. And again, the way it basically works here is that you give the insurance company money up front, and then after some period of time, the insurance company is going to make payouts to you. So it's like a savings account with interest. And there's tax benefits to buying annuities. Your funds will go over time, and they'll provide you with a steady income stream in the future. Okay, there are two types of annuities. There's an immediate annuity and a deferred annuity. Immediate annuity means that you're going to be getting the money back relatively immediately, like in a year from now. Whereas with a deferred annuity, you're giving the money to the insurance company for a specified period of time, and then sometime in the future, the insurance company is going to give your money back plus interest and also with a bonus. Okay, let's go over an example of an immediate annuity. So let's say that in 2020, you invested $10,000 in an immediate annuity with ABC Insurance Company. Beginning in 2021, you'll get monthly payments from the insurance company. And for the purposes of this example, let's say that you're getting $180 a month for 60 months. So after 5 years, you're getting all of your money back plus interest. And so in this example, in the year 2025, you will have received back a total of $10,800, which is your original $10,000 investment plus $800 in interest. So you're getting a return of about 8%, which is more than you usually get from a savings account, and definitely much more than if you're leaving that money sitting in a sock drawer at home. Now, an example with a deferred annuity. So a deferred annuity is a contract whereby you give money to the insurance company, they keep it for several years while it builds up interest, and then at a point in the future, you begin getting the money back. You can get the money back on an annual basis, you can get it on a quarterly basis or a monthly basis. So in this example, let's say that in 2020, you invested $10,000 in a 5-year annuity with XYZ Insurance Company. The insurance company holds on to the money for 5 years. They call it their deferral period. In 2025, you start receiving monthly payouts from the insurance company. Now, you get to decide how long those payouts are going to be. Do you want to get one large lump sum payouts? Do you want the payouts to last 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years? That'll be up to you, and you'll have a chance to determine that. And again, there's also a death benefit here, is that while the policy is in effect, if you happen to pass away, there'll be a payout to your beneficiaries. Now, the catch here with these policies is that there are surrender charges, both with annuities and life policies. And what that means is that there's a period of time during which, if you want to cancel the policy or take money out, the insurance company is going to charge you a fee. And this is usually the area where bad insurance agents are looking to take advantage of you, because they don't tell you about this when you buy the policy. And then 3 years later, you want to get your money back and you find out, what, I have to pay a penalty? Nobody ever told me that. So it's very important that you understand this, what this means. So a surrender period is the period of time during which, if you elect to surrender or cancel your policy, the insurance company is going to charge you a fee. Surrender periods are usually 3 or 5 or 10 years. So what that means is that within that time period, you're going to have to pay a penalty to the insurance company if you want to get your money back. There's an exception to that, and there's a 10-year penalty fee withdrawal every year. So what that means is, let's say, for example, you invest $10,000 in a policy today. A year from today, you can take out $1,000 penalty free, but if you take out anything more than that, you're going to start paying penalties. I don't want to get too much more into the weeds here and make it complicated. The thing to keep in mind is that no matter what type of policy you buy, you can get 10% out every year of free of the policy value. Anything beyond that, you're going to be paying a surrender charge. All the surrender charges are laid out in the policy paperwork. So when you get an insurance policy, no matter what the insurance agent tells you, you should take the time to read over the paperwork yourself, because the charges will be very clearly laid out there on a table that you'll be able to see, so you'll know up front how much you're going to have to pay. So, and here's a really quick example. Let's say that you bought a policy that has a 5-year surrender period, and the policy in year 1 has a 10% fee. That means that if you wanted to cancel the policy, you're only going to get $900 back, because the fee is $100. And you can see over time here, the charges go down. In year 2, the fee is 8%. In year 3, it's 6%. In year 4, it's 4%. In year 5, it's 2%. So in year 5, if you wanted to cancel it, you'd only have to pay a $20 fee, which is good. Keep in mind that after year 5, you can take your money out at any time with interest and bonuses, and you're not paying any penalties. So when you're buying these policies, you should really consider how long you feel safe letting the insurance company keep your money. So if you have a 5-year surrender period, you should just say, you know what, I'm going to leave that money alone for 5 years, and then after that, I can do whatever I want with it. But if there's an emergency and I need to take the money out, these are the fees that I'm going to have to pay. Here's another area that's very important up front, and this is an area where the insurance agent might have tried to take advantage of you. The insurance agent by law has a duty to determine whether or not the life insurance policy or the annuity is suitable for you. And what that means is that they need to ask you lots of questions about your personal life, about your health and your finances, to match you with the best policy and the best insurance company that's a fit for you. They also want to try and get you a good cost with a good company. And these questions can be somewhat intrusive, but if they don't ask you these questions, they're not doing their job, and they're probably trying to take advantage of you. So when they're sitting down with you to talk about this, they should be asking you about your age, your annual income, what your financial objectives, your financial strategy is, how much money you have in the bank, what you want to use the policy for, and how your finances are looking in the future. Are you still working? Are you planning on going back to work? Might you be moving into a facility where you're going to have some expenses? All of these things should be discussed up front. And if they're not being discussed, you should ask the agent about them, because what you have is you have agents who will tell you not to worry about it, just sign a blank application, and then they fill it all in after the fact. Now, there are a number of dangers there, and one of those dangers could be that the insurance agent puts false information about you on the application, the insurance company issues the policy, and then 1 year later something happens, and you expect the insurance company to give you a payout. If the insurance company finds out that there were lies on it, they're going to cancel everything and you're not going to get anything. So it's imperative that you fill out the application with the agent, that you read it over and that you verify it, because if the insurance company finds out after the fact that there were lies, there could be some trouble and you could be left holding the bag and not getting what you think you deserve. So never allow an insurance agent to fill out the application for you, and never allow them to turn it in without you reading it first. Well, you know, I'm sorry, I think I skipped some life insurance stuff. Let me go back. I apologize. No, I apologize. I think I covered it. Let me skip forward. All right, long-term care coverage. So this is definitely not my area of expertise. You know, I know a lot about life insurance and annuities, and I'd be happy to answer those questions. I'll do the best I can with long-term care. Long-term care involves the assistance or supervision you may need when you're not able to do some of the basic activities of daily living. This includes, you know, eating, dressing, taking care of yourself during the day, getting in and out of a chair. You know, you might simply need assistance because of an injury. You know, you may have a hip issue, or maybe just due to your age, you're having trouble getting around. And these type of services can be provided in your home. They can be provided at a community center or a facility where you reside full time. Now, as far as the cost of coverage go, those are normally determined in 4 different ways. It can be paid for through Medicare. It can be paid for through Medi-Cal. You might have some personal resources. And then there's also long-term and care insurance, where you're anticipating what may be happening in the future. You pay for a policy, so if and when you need this type of services, the insurance company will help cover some or all of the costs for you. So in California, there are certain types of coverage that can be sold, and there are 3 main categories. Those are nursing facility and residential care facilities, home care only, and comprehensive long-term care coverage. So keep in mind that every state has their own rules and regulations. You may know someone who's living in another state who has something different, and you want to get the same thing here. You may not be able to get it. So just keep in mind that when an insurance agent is offering you something, they should only be offering you something that's been approved for sale by the state. And if they're not doing that, then they're probably offering you for sale for something from an unregulated company, something illegal, and something where you're probably going to get taken advantage of in the future. So it's very important that you buy a policy that's been approved by the state. All right, the factors to consider when buying a coverage policy and shopping around for long-term care coverage is, what does the insurance company charge for the policy? Is it an insurance company that's been around for a long period of time? Are their premiums steady from year to year, or do they raise their prices over time? And you might think, well, how am I supposed to know that? And a lot of this stuff is public record. You can figure it out by talking to friends and family. You can go on their websites, or you can come to the Department of Insurance for assistance. Again, how long has the company been in business? Obviously, if you have a company that's been in a business for 50 years, it's probably safer to go with them than to be with a company that's been in business for 2 years. When you're buying the policy, does it provide coverage for facilities that are close by my home, so I'd have to drive 50 miles a day? Do I have the ability to choose where I want to go? Do I have the ability to choose who I want to come into my home and take care of me? And lastly, you know, how much does it cost? Am I going to be able to afford it now? Am I going to be able to afford it 5 years from now? And as was the case with the life insurance and the annuities, all of these things should be disclosed to you upfront by the insurance agent or by the insurance company at the time that you're applying for the policy. Right, so now let's talk about insurance agents. These are the men and women that you're going to be dealing with when it comes time to determining whether or not you want to purchase insurance. It goes without saying that all of these people need to be licensed. Unfortunately, as is the case with contractors, repairmen, all kinds of other areas of life, there are lots of people out there who are selling insurance insurance without a license. So you always want to verify that the person who's selling you insurance is licensed. They should be able to give you a business card with their license on it. If they don't have a business card, they have to give you their license number. You can go on our website and check them out. You can see how long they've been licensed for. You can see if they have a history of being disciplined for engaging in bad acts. And also keep in mind that you should never have to give them any money out of pocket for buying insurance. They get paid by the insurance company for selling you a policy. You don't owe them a cent. They can come and sit with you for 5 hours, and after those 5 hours, if you don't want to pay them anything, you don't owe them anything. So keep that in mind. There are also special law in the book for dealing with seniors that insurance agents owe a duty of honesty and fair dealing when dealing with senior citizens. So they really have to check off all the boxes and cover all the bases when they're coming to sit down with you and talk about insurance. And there are different types of licenses. There's a different type of license for selling auto insurance than there is for life insurance. So when you're talking to them, you might want to specifically say, okay, Insurance Agent Smith, are you licensed to sell life insurance? Are you licensed to sell annuities? Are you licensed to sell long-term care insurance? And if they don't have that type of license, then you don't want to deal with them. So it's a little small here on the screen, but you can always go to our website for help. It's www.insurance.ca.gov. And again, I don't want to get too much into the weeds here, but we talked about how life insurance and annuities are investments. With some of those type of policies, insurance agents also have to be registered by the federal government through an organization called FINRA. So when you're getting into the complicated policies, you might also want to check to see if they're registered with FINRA. And their website is www.finra.gov. But definitely start with the Department of Insurance. Okay, what are the warning signs you should look for? What are the schemes out there? First and foremost, high pressure sales tactics. You should never do business with an insurance agent or anyone who comes into your home and says, you know what, you need to do this right now, today. I'm not going to be able to make this offer to you tomorrow. Don't talk to your family. Don't ask your friends about it. Trust me, I know it's best for you. If somebody's trying to pressure you in that way, then don't do business with them. Similarly, like I've already mentioned, never trust them. If they say, hey, don't worry about reading over the paperwork, say, no, I want to take the time to read it, even if it takes an hour. Ask them to leave the paperwork with you so you can read it over. If English is not your first language or you're having trouble reading, get a friend or a family member to read it over there for you, or ask them if they have the form for you in your native language. Again, you know, some of the common schemes we see, we go and we talk to the victim afterwards and they say, you know what, I just trusted them. I signed on the dotted line. And then we go and we sit down with them and they find out there's all these lies on the paperwork and all this stuff they didn't know was going on. So I can't stress this enough. Please read over the paperwork carefully and don't sign it until you feel comfortable doing so. Also, perform your own due diligence. All of these big insurance companies have websites out there. You can check them out yourself. In some instances, you don't even need to buy insurance from an agent. You can buy it directly from the company. You can also come to the Department of Insurance for assistance. Again, you can check out their license history. You can go on consumer websites. You can go to the Better Business Bureau. You know, with a stranger showing up on your door, making these promises to you, don't take them at their word. Check them out. Also, you should always ask them to leave paperwork and brochures with you. I can't tell you how many times we've dealt with people of all ages where an insurance agent comes into their home. They sell them a $100,000 policy that costs them $5,000, and the insurance agent leaves the home and the consumer has no paperwork. That shouldn't happen. The insurance agent should leave you a copy of your application. They should leave you a copy of your receipt and all the other paperwork you signed. Additionally, you should get the full policy in the mail about 30 days later. So that's another warning sign. If you ever buy any type of insurance, and you haven't gotten an insurance policy in the mail from the insurance company within 30 to 60 days, and there's definitely a problem. You should definitely reach out to the insurance agent, to the insurance company, or to the Department of Insurance, because if you haven't gotten anything in the mail, then you might have been ripped off. Additionally, Don't do business with anyone who's offering you free insurance. That's a scam. There's no such thing as free insurance. Additionally, be on the lookout for people who are offering you free lunches and free seminars. There are certainly instances when that's okay, when you have legitimate agents who will buy you lunch or conduct a seminar for you, similar to what we're doing today. But there are also a lot of bad actors out there who will entice you and put together this nice presentation and give you a free meal and then ask you to do all the stuff that you may not necessarily want to do. So I would try and shy away from that. And then lastly, again, try to shy away from doing business with anyone who wants you to pay for anything out of your own pocket. The bad actors out there will come and they'll sell you a life insurance policy, but then they'll say, oh, you know what, by the way, I also do DMV services, or I do tax services, or I do estate planning. Let me help you out with that. All those things are going to cost you money out of pocket. If you want to buy insurance from them. Tell them to leave their card with you, and maybe you'll get back to them about doing your taxes or doing DMV service or doing estate planning. You know, there are experts who should do that, especially with estate services. You should be dealing with a licensed attorney. You know, don't let these guys come to your house to buy you insurance and then turn around and sell you a bunch of other stuff you may not have wanted. So again, if you have questions before you make any decisions, talk to your friends and family, talk to your caregivers, find someone you trust, contact the insurance company directly with questions, ask your agent for copies of all your paperwork. If you have any questions or concerns at all, contact Adult Protective Services and contact the Department of Insurance. Lastly, and this is another area where I really want to make an impression upon you, do not feel ashamed or embarrassed. Pretty much everyone who's ever lived has been taken advantage of in some way, shape, or form during their life. I've been taken advantage of. A lot of times when people get taken advantage of, they feel embarrassed. They don't want to tell their friends or their family that they got ripped off and they lost their life savings. Never, ever feel embarrassed. The people who are doing this are sophisticated criminals. Okay, you are the victim. You did not do anything wrong. If you have been taken advantage of, please tell someone, because all the speakers today, we are here to help you. We want to get those bad guys out of the industry. If they're criminals, we want to put them in jail, and we want to get you your money back. So please never feel ashamed or embarrassed. If something as bad has happened, speak up and tell someone. So again, here's the contact information for the Department of Insurance. We have a special page on our website devoted specifically to seniors. It's www.seniors.insurance.ca.gov. And there's also a helpline you can call there anytime. And that number is 800-927-4357. That's it for me. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Mr. Deloria, for your very in-depth presentation from the Department of Insurance. You know, unfortunately, we are winding down on our time. We're a little bit over, but I do want to end our Q&A with just one question. And it is one question that came in many, many times from our constituents that are viewing this seminar today. And if any one of you would like to chime in on this one question, constituents want to know what is the most effective method for dealing with junk emails and unsolicited calls when they've already put their phone number on the do not call list. If anyone would like to weigh in.
I'll go first. The most effective method of dealing with a junk email is to not open it, to just delete it, period. For unsolicited Robo Calls, I spoke a little bit about that earlier, and it's just a way of them, you know, finding out your day. And I get this question a lot about my phone number is already registered with the Do Not Call list. The Do Not Call registry is administered by the Federal Trade Commission. And when you continue to get the same call or same phone number, they want you to make a list of that. Not saying that you have to answer it, but it could show up on your viewer. I would definitely contact the Federal Trade Commission, because whoever is constantly calling you and you've already said, put me on your do not call registry, they are violating that law. Okay, so the Federal Trade Commission would be one. And there's another way. You can contact your phone company and you could block the numbers that are constantly calling you. And there is also something with the phone companies, and I think it's with AT&T, because that's what I have. I'm starting to see where it says scam likely, like the phone will ring and it'll tell me this is likely a scam. So you can do that. Federal Trade Commission, contact your phone company to see if they can block the number. And then the best mechanism for anything is always don't answer the call. We're always going to get solicitation calls. Always, 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 because our information is sold. So we're always going to receive some type of solicitation. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
Nope.
Well, that rounds out our time for our seminar today. On behalf of State Senator Bob Wieckowski, I want to thank our distinguished panelists and our staff that helped us put on this seminar. If you are viewing this event virtually and you have questions that were not addressed or you would like additional information, please contact Senator Wieckowski's district office in Fremont. Thank you so much, and I wish you all a safe and happy evening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.